I've had so many amazing memories. It has made Final Fantasy already so special to me. Hello and welcome to this video. In today's video we are reacting to Zepla's The Big Reason I Quit WoW for Final Fantasy. I've been playing Final Fantasy for, I think it's coming up on 4 or 5 months now, and I've played WoW since, like, I think this is my 5th year. So I love WoW, I have a lot of emotions surrounding WoW, I have a great time in Final Fantasy currently, and I think it would be interesting to hear what our dear Zepla has to say about the topic. I'm going out on a whim here. I have not asked the kind community on Discord if this is spoiler free. She has a fat cat. But I think this is more about Zepla's personal experience, and not as much as about telling the story in Final Fantasy. So let's hear what Zepla has to say.
Hey y'all, so today you might see that I'm wearing my Alliance shirt.
Alliance.
But our goblins were available as a...
What? Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I need to turn her down just a snitch.
Race that I could play. I bought it at Hot Topic, and I'm just saying that I'm wearing this shirt today because it's a memento.
Is she hot scum?
Of a time long past. It's a memento of a time when I was still really invested in World of Warcraft, and when it was home to me still. And I want to talk about where I've come from since then and how I ended up where I am now as a full-time Final Fantasy XIV content creator. I feel like my experience as like a WoW refugee might be enlightening for people, and it might be relatable to people that are considering coming to 14 now, that might also, like me, have this long history with World of Warcraft and this sentimental attachment. Yes. I'll never forget in December of 2004 when my dad drove me to a Walmart that was an hour away because it was the only one that we could find that had World of Warcraft in stock in my area. And I remember reading the player handbook on the way home, and I was thinking about what race I was going to play, and I felt like I was going to jump into this incredible adventure, and I was. World of Warcraft is an adventure that would consume my life for over the next decade and even longer. Raiding Nefarian with my guild was probably maybe my favorite ever memory from video games. Any video game.
So I'm just letting her talk right now because she's talking about her own personal experience. I remember back in the day, I was actually also in something in Denmark. We don't have Walmart and stuff like that. We have something called Kvickly and Brugsen. And I remember I was out with one of my siblings, and we got permission to buy 1 game each. And I remember standing with the vanilla cover, the game in my hand, and I turned it around. I stood with it for a long time. I showed one of my sisters, I showed her it, and she we talked about it looking nice, but then at the bottom it said need internet connection, and we didn't have that, so I put it away and didn't start back then. And then I wanted something sandboxy but still online, and my husband had tried World of Warcraft before but quit I think 3 times or something, and we ended up trying it together. And it was just I was so undergeared, and I was just running around. One of the most fun things I know in WoW is to be challenged. I love doing things where I keep dying, and I can just barely get through if I really try. That's one of the funniest things to me. So let's hear what Zepla has to say.
I played died. I was there with my raid guild. Everyone was dead. I was the last one standing. Nefarian was at like 1%.
I'm sorry, I have had the same experience. I didn't know the people I was in with, but I was in with my elemental shaman, and everyone was dead. The only one who was alive was me and one other damage. I think it was a damage person. And one other person, I'm sorry. And one other person. And then he died, and the only one who was left was me, and I was doing poor damage. But my earth elemental, my earth elemental was out, and he tanked, and I could do the damage, so we killed the boss. It was amazing.
Health, and everyone was cheering me on in TeamSpeak, and I was a rogue, and I popped evasion, and I managed.
For those of you who don't know, TeamSpeak is the old Discord, basically.
To dodge every attack and like step very fast until he died. And when he hit the floor, TeamSpeak went.
It was amazing.
Like people were freaking out. And I felt like a goddess, I guess. I felt amazing.
Yeah.
And then my chess piece dropped. The Bloodfang chess piece dropped, and everyone gave it to me. And they were like, because I won roll. And they were like, you deserve this. And I was like, yeah, I deserve this. This is the best day ever. Like, that's, what can I say? I was in love with that game. I was in love with the people I played with those experiences of like, we worked so hard to get to that point and we were rewarded for it. But imagine if that Bloodfang chess piece that dropped, like, if maybe that story happened today in the current state of WoW, and that chess piece maybe didn't Titan Forge or didn't get the socket or whatever. And then I would be like, oh, well. Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to come back later, and I'll try to get the Titan.
By the way, an important thing to notice is this is 3 years old. I know this is not current. I know that, but I guess it's still relevant why she chose Final Fantasy over WoW.
I mean, there's been a shift in design philosophy over the years, and it's one that has been... It's been painful to experience firsthand, and it's been heartbreaking to watch even from afar from my now new home of Final Fantasy XIV. As the years went on, I noticed that I was adding less and less people to my friends list. And I noticed that I was spending more time with people I had been randomly matched with that wouldn't say a word, and then we all go back to what we were doing before. And we'll never speak to each other again. By the time I got to Warlords of Draenor, I was sitting in my garrison, and I realized that that was the loneliest I ever felt.
Warlords of Draenor was also something different from what I hear.
At the same time, I felt like trapped. I felt like there was nowhere to go. And there was no MMO besides this one that would ever have so much meaning for me, because it was meaning that had been built up over so many years and through so many formative experiences.
Yeah, experiences,
and I have friends,
memories.
friends in my Twitch chat who met me during vanilla WoW or BC, and we have lifelong friendships from this game. We have bonds that will never be broken from this game. Of course, I'm connected to this game, and I always will be, no matter what. So I felt, well,
I know what you mean.
Point of buying another MMO? It's WoW or nothing, you know.
Not only that, when you play WoW, you get this weird feeling that any other MMO is here and WoW is here. And I'm going to make a statement now. As a World of Warcraft player, you look over at Final Fantasy and you expect something completely different than you get when you play. And I can tell that firsthand. I was considering making this a video by itself, but I can give you just a short thought process. From what I experienced is, you know how Stormwind, like if you play on Argent Dawn, it's a roleplay server. You know, in Stormwind we have an inn, and things go down in the inn, and we roleplay on that server. You expect Final Fantasy to be that, but that's the whole game. Roleplay, snowflakes, as they call it, which means an overly sensitive person, I guess. And yeah, that's it. I can say now that is not true at all. It's much more about the story, and I know that sounds weird. If you play World of Warcraft, you won't really get it before you play it yourself. It's like reading a book. Not that that's bad, but it is really like reading a book. And you have to take your time with it. You cannot just do like you do in WoW and you just skip. And then you can look over at the side and you can see, okay, I have to kill 3 hawks or something like that. It's not like that. You need to read it and you need to know what you're doing. It's also very complicated. Like, not in a bad way, but it's just so different from WoW. Like, it really is. You cannot compare them at all. It's much more social also. And I think that's because I'm not sure, because I think I'm only level 35 and I've only been playing for a couple of months. But I think it's because World of Warcraft, the game, or like, you know, World of Warcraft only starts beginning to get fun when you are at max level. That's at least my experience. That's at least my experience. Like, the game begins at max level, and then you can begin to play the game. Final Fantasy, the game happens from you enter the game and you are max level, and from max level it's just whatever you want to do. It's not the same as in WoW. So it's very, very different, and the build is different, and I think it's actually a little silly that we compare them so much, because it has nothing to do with each other besides being MMOs and the top ones. And it definitely talks to very different people. Yeah.
But my garrison was pretty much running itself, and a friend of mine begged me to try Final Fantasy XIV. It was during Heaven's Ward era. And honestly, I was feeling pretty depressed. I felt like I had nothing to lose, and my life wasn't going really well at the time either. And so I figured, well, there's a free trial, so whatever. I guess I'll just try it out. And I had never played a Final Fantasy game before. I didn't understand like why there were cat girls to play. I didn't understand why there was like potatoes to play. I was kind of weirded out by the character creation, like full disclosure. Honestly, my first reaction was like, who is this game for?
Fun fact, I wasn't weirded that out. No, I wasn't actually. I just thought, hey, it's humans with features from different types of things, like cats, or I thought dragons, but reptiles, I guess, lizards, and big boys, lions, and I didn't think it was that weird actually.
This isn't like a weeb game.
No, truly it is.
And honestly, in spite of myself, in spite of all my reservations, and in spite of myself expecting it to be crap, I found myself after 3 days of playing the story and just feeling myself slowly, like, I guess, let my guard up and allow this new game to be enjoyable for me. Honestly, I was hooked after 3 days. The story pulled me in, and I started to feel connected again, not just to the characters in the story, which I kind of think of like those first connections to the story characters as being almost like a rope that I grabbed onto after.
So a fun fact, I have only played like almost everything I've done in Final Fantasy you can watch on my channel. Like I've recorded everything. And I think the experience of the game is a little bit different when you record everything and you have to be on and you have to read out loud and stuff like that. Yeah, it was just a comment I wanted to make, that I think the experience is a little bit different from when you are sitting at home, like not having to do it in a specific pace. You can do it in your own pace. It's really different. I don't know why. I don't know. In my humble opinion, I always have considered an MMO a game where you fought other players online. The story was maybe like 15% of the game. You could farm. You could do dungeons and raid, of course. And I just have this image in my head that that's what an MMO is. In my world, my humble world, Final Fantasy is what I consider to be a AAA game with story, but I can also play with other players in the same world. But it might just be me. It's just how my brain sorted, if you know what I mean.
After being in this pit of like despair, like MMO despair, it was like I had this lifeline suddenly, and I started to feel like, oh my gosh, this is really fun, and I care about what's happening. I want to know what's going to happen next. And then the community embraced me. Then the community started pulling me up out of this hole.
It's you guys.
And I started my YouTube channel, and I started making content for the game. And before I knew it, I felt like I had a family around me, and I felt like I belonged for the first time since Wrath of the Lich King in an MMO. I felt like I was at home, and I couldn't believe what was happening. I mean, I got caught up in 14 so fast. Everything moved so quickly. I got my character to level 60. I started doing Alexander raids, and I started raiding again. I had that incredible thrill of killing the savage bosses with my new static, my new friends from my static. And it was that same old thrill that I felt back in the day with Nefarian, you know. I was having so much fun. My heart found a new place to be, a new place to stay. And I watched from afar, from this position of safety, from which I still watched as World of Warcraft took its path and continues to take this path down a road that I can't follow. It's like that thing that Jaina said to Artlist, like, you're going down a path I can't follow. Meanwhile, you have Ian saying...
Zepla is really poetic and very... it seems like she experiences deep emotions, and she really treasure her online life in this MMO sphere, I guess. I think it's beautiful. I think to feel that strong, and not only that, to be able to understand and accept and listen to yourself like that, and really feel that what you need, and you need this online community, the escape we all talk about. I don't know why I get this. Okay, I'll stop here. Let's continue.
Stuff like, and this was from a Q&A. Ian said, if people are engaging in activity beyond the level that's required to earn some baseline reward, that's an indication they're doing it because it is fun. We can infer that from this data that they are having fun. We can infer the fun if they repeat activity beyond baseline reward.
Nope.
Acquisition, it is fun. Like, what? He was talking about how they decide if something's fun or not, like how a robot would if they were studying humans and trying to understand what is fun like. What is this thing? Like, It was so weird. And then Laura's sitting next to him. Laura's the community manager who famously on Twitter called the community dickbags. There's a tweet.
No way. Just for your information, since I've been having to do it a lot lately, yes, I'm very quick to mute or block people on Twitter. It's, in my experience, the only way to make using Twitter not to be a constant slog through garbage spewed by anonymous dickbags. My mental health over your idiotic ranting.
He's a community manager. His job is to interact with the community. And he was like, look, I'm quick to mute or block people. I don't want to slog through garbage on Twitter. Okay, from anonymous dickbags. What are you doing? Your job is to go through Twitter messages. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? These are the people that are leading the Q&As, that are leading the official discussion about the state and path of the game. And not only are they out of touch with...
By the way, a lot has happened since this video. Like, a lot. Many people have been fired. Have been both. Has been fired, and there has been some huge changes within Blizzard, so but still,
like the very basic idea of what is fun, how do we decide if this is fun, but also out of touch with the community, and even like from this tweet, you can see that there's a level of like aggression.
Yes.
And almost like see community as an enemy, not as an ally that's there to give you
feedback.
Very important. God, I'm so tired of this word feedback. We value your feedback. It's like it's the retail lie that everyone's sick of hearing. I don't even want to call it feedback. You're supposed to have normal conversations. You're supposed to play the game yourself, and as a human, using your human emotions, decide, did I have fun? It also echoes this thing that J. Allen Brack said, new president of Blizzard, said, you think you want it, but you don't. Again, it's like this sense of condescension.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that.
Has the community
that's what they said about Classic when they did the new release.
With the massive hype over WoW Classic. People aren't excited about WoW Classic so they can log in and play a polygon dwarf who has 4 polygons on his nose. And they're logging in because of the design philosophy. Yes. This again, like with BlizzCon, we have all these quotes from these people of, don't you guys have phones? They're on this ivory tower and looking down at the players like they just have no idea what they want. And
I think it was they wanted to make they made Diablo for the iPhone. I'm not iPhone, for the phone. I'm not sure. You can correct me in the comments if you would like to, but I'm pretty sure it was that they announced a mobile game and people booed, I think, and they said, we all have phones, don't we? I don't remember, something like that.
We know what fun is because we have the numbers. I went to my first fan fest 4 months ago in Paris. It was like night and day. BlizzCon 2018 versus FanFest 2019 because there was a rock show at the end where Yoshida came out in this freaking amazing tiger kimono and he's singing this badass song from the game, and you've got Koji Fox from the English localization team, Soken there. And they're rocking out. They're having so much fun. We are part
fun
of this big thing together, and you feel like they really are invested in this game too. They care about this game.
I agree.
To listen to us.
It does really feel like it.
On Twitter, at FanFest, a fan went up during the Q&A and requested a quality of life change, and Yoshida was like, "Yeah, we can do that." 4 months later, today, I posted, that they have announced that they will be adding that feature that was requested by a fan into the game. Okay. I posted that to just kind of demonstrate.
What was it? A fan request on QOL changes at FanFest, and 4 months later, it's announced for the game never changed, Yoshida. A rumble in the duty controllers will now vibrate when you have been matched. Oh yeah, that is smart.
Okay. I posted that to just kind of demonstrate how very different the devs are. If there's a controversy, which there have been, they address it and they say, well, here's the reasons for why we can't give you what you want right now, but we'll try. They're very transparent. They know they're in touch with what is going on, with what players want. But it's design philosophy problems that are the reason why I felt so alone in my garrison in Warlords of Draenor, that are the reason why I left that game behind, and it opened that window of opportunity for
Let's
me to
be real,
try another game. So why are players quitting WoW for 14? It's because that the tie has been severed. What are those ties made of? They're made of meaning. What is meaning? It is human connections. It is feeling pride in your character and pride in what you've accomplished. Whatever that chord of meaning is, I know that it's made up of something more than the sum of its parts, and that's what Ian doesn't get. That's what they don't seem to get. It's something that makes you feel like you're a part of something bigger. And that's what WoW has lost.
And Blizzard, just so we are all clear about this, it's not bigger in the sense that we need to defeat titans and gods. Just saying that. Just so it's out there. Shadowlands was... I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. Let's just say that.
That's what Final Fantasy XIV can offer. You might not like it. You might try it and it might not be for you. That's okay. But I will make a separate video talking about some misconceptions you might have, especially early on in the early parts of gameplay.
That would be interesting to watch.
How the game does change as you level, and more of like what to expect if you decide to play 14 coming from World of Warcraft. What do you think? What do you think about this thing that I've called the chord of meaning? What is it made of for you? Like, what attaches you to an MMO? Have you ever played World of Warcraft? Have you played it as long as me? Are you also a WoW refugee? And did you come recently during BFA, or did you come during Warlords of Draenor, or maybe some other expansion? Let me know in the comments section below. And I would welcome you to come to my Discord server and chat with me about it there. I'm there almost all the time.
Maybe we should.
Thank you again for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Okay, so that was Zepla's video. We will leave a like and etc. after the video. So I don't think it's... A lot of things happened. I wasn't playing in Warlords of Draenor, but I've heard from Asmon that it was very bad, like extremely bad. So I think a lot of people tried out Final Fantasy back then, I could imagine. Also, when Asmon tried Final Fantasy out, wow, that made headlines in the MMO community. It was actually the first time I heard about Final Fantasy back then, and my husband wanted to try it out, but I wasn't quite there yet. I was still doing BFA, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so if I should give my thoughts on what she's saying, I get what she's saying. I didn't ever have a community in World of Warcraft. I've always shied away. I don't know, I think maybe Zepla, I don't know her at all, actually. I was about to say I don't know her that well. I know more about Asmon than I know about Zepla, let's just say that. That sounded creepy. I have watched Asmon more because he used to play World of Warcraft mainly, and that's when I watched him. And I have had no reason to watch Zepla because she didn't make World of Warcraft content. So I think I play MMOs a bit different than most people. I'm not a raider and I'm not a dungeon person. I play because I like to just exist in a world where if I want to be social, I am. If I don't want to, I don't have to. I like running around. I think I really personally love about World of Warcraft is experiencing the world. I've had so many amazing memories from doing that, and that's by myself. and also with like my husband and stuff. But some of the best experiences I've had is by myself, so I think I'm just a loner. I love going out on. I actually have a video of me many years ago, many years ago. I love infiltrating horde cities. I love it. It's amazing. And I don't know, it's just, I also love going, it's just, I have this amazing memory where we need to get the Sandalai Pippin. Well, I call it Pippin, but I think it's Pepe. We were going in for the Sandalari Pepe, but we were Alliance. And my main character, as you may know by now, is an elemental shaman. I don't have stealth, I don't have anything, and we were standing in the bushes and there were guards all over the place and players. And we needed to go quick in and get this little bird, and it was so much fun. So yeah, I think she has. So it's right. And also right now in Final Fantasy, the community that we are building up is really, it has made Final Fantasy already so special to me. I'm still very nervous and I'm still new and I take my time and stuff like that. But, I'm sorry. But I can see in the near future, I can see in the future where I was once very new to WoW and everything was scary, and it isn't anymore. I hope that one day I will have the same confidence around Final Fantasy. So I can help new people, I can join in with you guys, we can have fun, we can... I really hope one day I can do that. As you know, I take my sweet time, but I know, I think I can understand what Zepla is trying to get through the screen. And with that, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you're new here, subscribe. And you stay cozy. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!